One of the key elements to controlling speed and distance, especially on longer putts, is our ability to produce a consistent and correct loft on the putter at impact. Now, most putters have about 3 or 3.5 degrees of loft if we haven't changed that at all, and therefore if your putter is standard, you want about 1.5 degrees of shaft lean at impact. Two common things I would see: golfers that put too much speed into the handle and de-loft the putter. Maybe they start with too much shaft lean, but certainly coming into impact they have too much shaft lean, no loft or negative loft on the putter, too much early surface interaction, and the ball decelerates in the skid phase. Conversely, you might see a golfer that perhaps produces a little bit of late speed, and they're doing that by decelerating the handle and accelerating the club head, and they're going to add loft and have too much loft on the putter at impact, launching the ball too high, then it kind of lands on the green and again loses speed. So they're the two most common things I'd see. I've designed a drill to help you start, if you've got a standard putter, with 1 to 1.5 degrees of shaft lean, and then return that putter to that position, producing the correct loft on the putter at impact, launching the ball ideally, and we're not going to lose any speed in the skid phase. It's also going to help you with the rhythm of your stroke and get the timing of that release more appropriate. So watch this video, try the drill, and see if it can help you with your longer putts. Okay, so what you'll see I've got here is a alignment stick. I've just stuck it into the ground. I've angled it slightly towards me, and then as closely as I can, I've angled it 1 degree towards the target. So first of all, if I've got a standard loft on the putter, there's a really good reference for me. If I close my trail eye, it's a really good reference for me to understand what the putter needs to look like in my setup, because what I'm trying to do is return that putter back to the same position at impact as I am at setup. So that's the first thing. Really nice reference for setup. Then after that, I'm going to make some practice strokes, and I can feel, if I do it slowly, there's where it needs to be at impact, there's where it needs to be at impact. I'm trying to return it, all the while keeping my right eye closed, return it back to that same position. That's the correct loft for impact. And then I can try and do that with some flow. You may have seen me mention before that I don't really mind, especially on longer putts, some, let's say in the backstroke, right wrist extension, left wrist flexion, downstroke follow through, the opposite, right wrist flexion, left wrist extension, just a little bit to help with the flow of the stroke. And if we do that, if you're someone that comes in with lead wrist overly flexed or overly extended, and you can see that on your HackMotion, use this drill and this alignment stick as a reference for where that needs to feel and time that release. Okay, some better rhythm. You can see I'm doing some pretty flowing strokes here. Some better rhythm is going to help with that timing of release. And then I'm just going to try and replicate that on the ball. So one more time. There's where I need to be in setup. Let's feel where that needs to be at impact. And then let's try and do that with a flow. And then we take our alignment with our target. And we try and replicate that release on the ball. That felt nice. Not that I could really see, but it didn't seem like there was, over interaction with the surface in the skid phase. And that felt really nice. Not that I can notice, but that didn't seem like there was too much interaction early on in the skid phase. The strike felt nice and the flow of the stroke felt good. So one more of those for you. Ball goes in just ahead of the stick, putter goes in line. There's my setup position. Feel where that alignment stick is. Do that with some flow. Hopefully if you're going to do this drill, you're going to get some better results. You can monitor flexion extension on your HackMotion, and hopefully it's going to allow you just to get that little bit more speed and get better speed control, distance control on those longer putts. So I've got my alignment stick angled towards me, and then as best as I can, 1 degree forward from vertical. Gonna match my shaft up to the stick, so I'm in a good setup position. Align myself to my target. Practice stroke to feel where impact should be. Do that with some flow, and then trying to relate it to the target. I'm going to reproduce that on the ball. That felt pretty good. Nice strike. Didn't seem too much interaction in the skid phase, and a pretty decent result. Going to replicate my practice strokes, let it flow, let that loft release. That felt pretty nice, nice strike. Didn't seem to be too much interaction with the surface early on. So match the putter, set up, do my practice strokes. That's my feel for impact. Let it flow through that position and try and replicate on the ball. That felt really nice, good strike.